I've taken as the topic for today the title of the conference. For me, the question mark at the end of this is the important bit, and I'm going to touch on that during the presentation. For us, it flags up a couple of challenges. We work mostly in the higher education, further education sector. In the activities that we've just been involved in the last couple of days, the 33 universities we're working with brought staff members along. So in a room we had about 40 university educators, and we did some fascinating straw polls. We talked about whether reality is keeping up with the rhetoric. The rhetoric, Peter Mandelson talking about enterprise, how important it is, enterprise education, what the government's going to do about it. We all know how important it is. But the reality, when I ask the question of these educators, how many of them feel safe in their roles in their institutions, 60% of them felt that in the next 12 months their roles may not even exist anymore because of the uncertainties around funding and around institutional changes. First of all, though, let me tell you a little about Working Knowledge. We've been around for 6 years or so. I joined the company, or should I say started working for them, around 5 years ago. I am, by training, a facilitator. I spent most of the last 2 days on my feet in front of groups of people. I think we ended up with 400 in the main theatre yesterday afternoon when we finished up. We bridge the gap between education and the workplace, and we do it through enterprise activities. We are unashamedly commercial. We are an enterprise, and we bring that ethos to everything that we do. We're in it to make a profit. And the way we do that, certainly in the education part of the business, is that we are really creative in finding routes to fund the delivery of that enterprise activity. And as we go through this sort of couple of case studies, I guess you'd call them, we'll see the routes that we're using both in higher education and further education. We get young people in big rooms. We like to work with big groups. For us, a standard group is 120, 240, 360. One of our facilitators will manage up to 20 teams. We're very light touch, learning by doing. We actually like the young people to do the work. We give them a challenge, come up with a business idea, or take an existing business idea and plan how you're going to grow it and make it succeed. We put them under a lot of pressure, a lot of ambiguity. We don't give them answers to anything. It's their job to come up with decisions, solve problems. We invite experts in. Experts, that always frightens the students. Actually, it frightens the experts as well, because they say, look, I'm not sure about this. What do you mean by expert? What are they going to expect me to do? Nerves both ways. But we bring them in. We recruit them. Various methods of doing that. We bring them into these events, and they have meetings with young people, 4 or 5 of them. And by the second or third meeting, one thing the young people have realized is that actually they're not students talking to employers, they're business people talking to business people, and their confidence grows. They improve the plans they've come up with, and finally we get the young people to present to the experts, a bit Dragon's Den style. No longer are the experts, they're sort of the critical friends, the supportive. Now they're challenging. They want to know, why didn't you take the advice that I gave you earlier? That's not the market you should be aiming at. And we expect the young people to be able to share their thinking and their judgments about why they've ignored that advice. So, we're interested, the 33 universities that came to our program event in the last couple of days, many of them are licensed to use our product. In HE, we train the staff to use this. There are places like Lancaster University, Manchester Metropolitan University, Plymouth, who have integrated our way of doing things, learning by doing, into their main programs. Because actually they recognize students learn more that way than they do from a book. We hear it from the students. Most university courses are delivered by lecture. And they go away and read books. How to write a business plan. MBA, start page 1. Okay, we teach them actually provide the right framework, provide the right tool, and yes, the theory is useful, but the application is way more important. So we teach academics how to facilitate the students to learn by doing, which is great fun. In further education, different model. HE, really tough to find buyers, to find money, to corral those with employability responsibilities, enterprise responsibilities, get them to make a joint decision. Woohoo! Tough. In FE, we found a different route. We had a college up in the northeast, Redcone Cleveland College. The principal saw one of our HE programs and said, I think in fact it was to you, James, said, I want to do this to my college students. Can you come and do it? The RDA helped out, some money went into it, and I think for 1 year we were able to fund the activity through project funding. Always useful, but guess what? What happens? It finishes. So, clever people that they were, they said, we've got to continue doing this. Let's look at how we can map what the students are learning, the outcomes of this enterprise activity against qualifications, and that's what we've done. So Ride the Wave is the program. The Plunge, 3 days. Make a Splash, 1 day. Dive In, it's a bit watery, this isn't it? We'll Dive In, half-a-day program. Different levels of students, different outcomes, different qualifications. But it is about enterprise training for college success. We don't just work with the students. What we do is we work with the students and the staff. So this is the overall picture. Funding. We're a facilitator, we come along, deliver events, we recruit the employers. James and I were talking, I think we have 1,500 now around the UK, some of whom have been to our events 5, 6, 7 times. Up in the northeast where we've been running stuff with Redcar, I think for 4 years now. There's one chap who says, just I will always put this in my diary. It's the most important thing I can do to invest in my local communities. Come and meet those young people. So it's a fabulous environment for them. So the event for them is pretty much the same as in HE. We get them in, we get them coming up with business ideas. This is just a sample. 20 new businesses, Abingdon and Whitney in January. Fabulous ideas they come up with. Although what we do notice is that the students, different colleges have similar mindsets. So there will be a hangover cure in there. There will be a collapsible shoe for ladies who like to be flat during the day and high during the evening. Some great stuff. Great stuff. They look at the problems in their lives and they try and come up with solutions. And we get some great stuff out of that. They meet with the experts, business people. We had, Abingdon and Whitney, we had 16 in from local employers. They have a great time. And they think it's a fabulous program.